Hey, this is Wileen Benson, and you are on the Daily Gratitude Call, where we start every day in gratitude. Gratitude is the highest energy state that we can be in. It creates a frequency of positive vibration that attracts positive experiences into our lives. Hey everybody, this is Wileen Benson. This is our Daily Gratitude Call. Thank you for joining our call today. We have somebody new on the call today. I always love it when you guys share. I know that you share all the time I know Suzanne shared the gratitude call with someone yesterday, and I was able to have a conversation with her and a new person. And these new people that come into our lives are so just uplifting. I don't know. I just feel like my world becomes new when I have new people come into my life. And that's what we're going to focus on today is gratitude for new, I was going to say new people, but I feel like there is another word, presence. Gratitude for a new presence. And I don't know why, but that word is the one that feels right. So I'm going to set the timer for 90 seconds. We're going to do a private silent meditation on gratitude for a new presence. And we'll see what happens with that. So 90 seconds, private silent meditation, and just write down whatever comes to you on gratitude for a new presence. Begin. All right. We've had several people, new people that have joined our call in the last several months. And always it's been someone that I've shared the call with or someone that you guys have shared the call with. Well, I wouldn't say always, because there have been a couple that have found it just organically, like Deepti found it when she was just doing a search for a way that she could start her day with gratitude and was able to find it organically. And I'm sure that there are other people that have found it that way as well. And so and I'm going to be a little bit vulnerable right now and Deepti share something that you don't know. When I saw that you were asking to join our Breakthrough with Gratitude Facebook group, I mistrusted you because I had not heard of you and you weren't referred to me by someone. And so there was a little bit of mistrust there, a little bit of fear around letting someone new into our group that I didn't have any relationship with through anyone else. And but Swapnil, who is the new person that's joining our call today, was referred by you. And as you remember, I sent you a message before I let you join the group. I sent you a message and asked you what your intention was for joining the Facebook group, the Breakthrough with Gratitude Facebook group, because I wanted to know that you were a real person, because I know there are some people who start Facebook pages, and, you know, because I have almost 5,000 friends, a lot of people will want to be my friend and join my groups and everything because they want the connection to all these people. And I'm very protective of my communities and the people, you know, who choose to be around me. And so because you didn't come with a reference, there was a little bit of mistrust and a little bit of fear around that. But I noticed this morning that with Swapnil, I have not met him. I mean, all that I heard this morning before we started our recording, he shared 3 things that he was grateful for. But even before he came on the call, I already loved him. I already was willing to accept him. I already, you know, just believed that he was a person that we definitely wanted in our group. And that was because of you, Deepti, because now we do know you, and you definitely belong here, and you are someone that we can trust and love. And so now people that you refer to us are automatically accepted. So I just, I appreciate you being here and sharing, and just wanted to bring out that difference in how people come to us, that if they come to us from someone that we trust and love, that that person already automatically is accepted. Who else has something that they would like to share?
I'd love to share.
Okay, Phil, and then Tammy.
You know, I remember one of my mentors telling me that, and, you know, when new people come into your life, it's a clear indicator that you are moving and that you are progressing. And so, but the one thing that is interesting here is that usually when new people come into your life, it's because of something you've done. You've taken an action step and you've tried something new. And as you move space, there are those around you who have been there before, who know the space, who can give you understanding and enlightenment of what the corners of that space, or the, I don't know if that's the right word, but the description and understanding of how the space can help you to move to a different level. And so I think about like going and joining a class at the gym, or getting a new job, or, you know, being the first one that reaches out and extends the hand of welcome, or that includes someone who doesn't feel included, and so who may need to feel included, and that those really are growing experiences for us, and that's a really good indicator that you are growing and progressing.
Awesome. So what I'm hearing you say is that when you take action is when it's like when the student is ready, the teacher appears. And when the teacher is ready, the student appears. When we take action, that is when the people start coming into our lives, and which is contrary to what we sometimes hang back and say, well, I'm gonna wait, you know, and see if I have clients before I take action, or I'm gonna wait and see. I want to get all the information before I take action, but we don't get that perfect person that gets to come and show us the way until we actually start taking action.
I'll add to that, you know, and there is for many, the world happens to them. They're always, you know, they get whatever's left over. There are those who happen to the world. Are those who say, here I am, and they stand tall and move into a space that's unfamiliar to them.
Awesome. And the world evolves because of them. Thank you.
Right. And then yes, exactly right.
Beautiful. Thank you. Tammy, you had something.
Yeah, so I was looking in the dictionary under the word presence, and the definition that was resonating with me as to things that I was feeling and thinking is the part of space within one's immediate vicinity. And I was thinking about my environment and just how as I take control of myself and have let go of trying to control others or circumstances, that just by focusing on me and changing me, that everything else around me in my vicinity starts to align and move into the right order.
Oh, beautiful. Again, like taking that action, like Phil was talking about, your presence, you become different. Everything in your immediate vicinity changes as soon as you make that choice to make a change. I love that. Thank you. Laura.
Well, I was thinking about presence as a new energy, a new mind. There's a new expansion that occurs. It's one of the ways, when new people come into our lives, it's one of the ways that we expand. And our souls expand through these relationships with one another. And our awareness also expands. And it's just such a beautiful, it's so interesting. The word spaces came up to me. So it's like there's a beauty in the spaces. And it in music, what always struck me as just incredibly cool is that it's the spaces between the notes that make the music. They're just as much a part of making the music as the notes themselves, because without the spaces there is no rhythm, and everything would just like be together, glob together.
Mm-hmm.
And with people, we are a point in space, right? And when we're a point in space and we have nothing else to relate to us, the space isn't defined. But when there's another person, there's the us, there's the person, and there's the space between us. And so the space becomes defined, right? There's a beginning and an end to that space, which begins with me and ends with that other person.
Mm-hmm.
And the beauty of that is that that's the space through which we can expand with a sense of purpose and with a joy in creation. And I was just really grateful for people, because of all of this constant expansion of all that is true and good and light. And I thought about how we're created to be in relationship. We absolutely need relationship, and with ourselves and with others, with God. Is part of, it's just inherent to our very nature. So new presence helps us expand our souls is the bottom line.
Beautiful. I love that. And, we know there's opposition in all things, and some of the things that you've shared, we could definitely take as a counterfeit. The truth is that when we see ourselves like in relation to others, when that space is defined, that here I am and there you are, and I see me and I see you, and we're one, there's a space between us, but we're one, and charity for all, that is the truth of the beauty of, me as an individual, you as an individual, and how we relate to each other. And I am basically defined in a sense because of you. There's more definition of me because I am, seeing you, and there's like a relationship
Exactly.
that we have. And the counterfeit of that is codependency.
Right.
It's, comparison. It's me feeling like if you expand, then that takes up space that I can't
Right.
take up.
Right.
So, there's so much counterfeit that we buy into when we are only looking at just the natural outside, shell of the person. But when we really step into charity and oneness, and we see the person through Christ's eyes, in that pure love, it's an expansion for all. If I expand, then you expand, and the space doesn't get smaller. It's just, there's still that same definition of space, but it expands, like, to include more people almost. It's like, the soul expansion that includes more.
It's like that whole idea in quantum physics where, quantum particles pop in and out of existence, right?
Mhm.
And so, yeah, there's definitely counterfeits to the reality of relationship for sure.
Mhm.
But at the same time, that makes sense, right? I mean, that there would be.
For sure.
Right.
There has
But
to be.
yeah, right. But yeah, there's just such beauty in that understanding of how our identity and our the reality of who we are,
Mhm.
gets to expand in those relationships.
Yeah, I love that our identity, because we definitely identify, as our own self. We have this individuality, uniqueness, but our identity expands as we invite more people into our space. Thank you. Thank you. I think, Deepti, did you have something? And then Tyree?
Yes, I had no clue about what you just shared, but I absolutely understand that, because maybe I was an Indian and I was not from America or any of the neighboring countries over there.
Mhm.
So I really want to be grateful that I don't know what the click was or what the trust was. You let my presence inside this group.
Mhm.
Full now that presence has been acknowledged and appreciated, and I've taken a 360-degree turn to what you thought of me and what you think
Mhm.
of me to. And that is the part you shared. Coming to the new presence and the topic of discussion for today, so I used to be someone before who used to not, how our mothers taught us not to speak to a stranger. So I
Mhm.
was kinds, and I used to only speak to people who I knew from college, or my friends, and common friends, or my tuition friends, or my building friends, my locality friends, my area friends. So I never spoke to anybody outside my circle. But then once I jumped in spirituality and I tried to speak to more people or connect to more communities, or to someone who's like-minded, or interested in the subject of what I am learning.
Mhm.
Going back to work calls before, I had mentioned a thing saying that my dialogue or any one of our dialogues on this call can make someone take some action in their lives. So when I have these calls every day, I have some aha moments always, and that makes my perspective grow. Like Lara was saying, it's a new energy and a new perception. And I think few of the calls earlier, I don't really remember her name, but she said we all are mini books in a one big library, and we all have
Mhm.
some of the gifts that we can really exchange and help us in our growing. So if I didn't speak to the new presences, or didn't, like, I was very narrow minded, or to say that what my friends thought or I thought, and that is what my world was. But then when I started inviting people in my own life, or inviting new presences in my life, I always had aha moments, because I realized, oh, there is this other side of the world which I never knew, and that happened because I was narrow focused. So I think talking to more people really makes you grow your and expand your mind. If they are like-minded people, if they are like shitty people, then obviously you choose wisely and hang out with the ones who you connect with or relate with.
Beautiful. Thank you. I appreciate that. And that really does kind of anchor in that thought that I had shared earlier, that, possibly before you got onto this spiritual journey, you wouldn't have been aligned with this group, with that narrow-minded focus, and wouldn't have even reached out to try to find it. And it wouldn't, we wouldn't have this conversation today. So thank you for stepping into that new feeling of trust for others, and talking to new people and stepping into new ideas, because that inherent trust that you felt once you stepped onto your path is what allowed you to be part of our group. And I love what you're saying about, as we learn from different people, we're having new ahas, and then that gives us more common ground to speak to other people. And so it just reiterates what Laura was saying about expanding. The more people that we invite into our lives, the bigger that we grow, the more expansion that we have.
And
Thank
it's
you.
also connecting to what Phil said, that if you don't take an action for your own life, you're not going to invite good things into your life. So I stood up fully for myself, and that's how I organically found this, and I'm loving it every day.
Beautiful.
Thank you,
Thank
Ivy,
you.
for conducting this.
You're welcome. Thank you. Tyree.
I'm trying to formulate thoughts into words, so I hope this makes sense. But so you think about it, and this relates to our call yesterday with conscious choice, because we can accept and allow new presence by taking action, or we can stay in our comfort zone. And as children, we're just trying to figure out the world, and so as Robert shared, I learned things that were not in my consciousness that I've been operating and creating in my life unconsciously. And then last night on Laura's call, I had more understanding. And then when we have the presence, when we have that new, like, we are old, we are eternal. And so something that feels new might not be new. It might just be something that we haven't felt for a long time. And when in our relationships, when we step into those limiting beliefs, then we block some of that new and eternal presence. And so when we release that and let go, then we are freeing ourselves so that we can receive the eternal presence that aligns with us. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, I've pulled out a couple of things that I want to just expand on. One is this idea of eternal spirits. And if I'm an eternal spirit and I have that belief, then I know that you are an eternal spirit as well. And the word family came to me, and familiar, like familiar spirits. When we meet new people, and there must be some familiarity with every person on the planet that will ever live, or that ever has lived, because we are part of one big family, all eternal spirits. And I know that our spirits, there's inside of the DNA of us, there is this memory that somehow has been blocked, that we don't remember the past lives life that we had. And we don't know, of what's coming in the future. But I think our eternal spirits really have that stamped into us. And so we're aware of that to some extent. And as we meet new people, if we're willing to be open, to meet those new people, we can feel that. No matter, whether it's someone that we resonate with or not, there's some part of us that there would be something familiar there. And the other thought that came to me was how we are mirrors for each other, and that as we accept and allow new presence into our lives, that we can learn more about ourselves, because whatever we see in others is also something that we're experiencing within ourselves. And so it's just really great feedback as we meet new people. And do you want to add anything else to that, Tyree?
When we meet someone and we've never met them or talked to them in our remembrance in this life,
Mm-hmm.
and then it just clicks, and it's like our spirit to spirit, the Holy Ghost is present, there's the soul to soul communication. I think that that's a confirmation
Mm-hmm.
that we knew each other before.
Beautiful. I've experienced that. Thank you. I know we probably have other shares, but we are getting close to the end of our time. So we're going to go ahead and shift into our permission process. I just invite you to go ahead and take a deep breath. And thank you for everything that has been shared. And all of those things that maybe haven't been shared but have been felt. And we feel the presence of those inspired thoughts here within our discussion. Just going to take one more deep breath. And I invite you to connect specifically with those people that are here on the call. Just take a moment, and even if you don't know everybody here, or maybe have never met some of the people here, just allow yourself to be in a space to open your hearts, to open your soul, to open yourselves to receiving all of these people that are here live on this call, and all of those people who are listening to the replay. Just allow yourself to be open to receive those people, and knowing that we all here on this call have a common thread of gratitude, and that there is a familiarity, a feeling of family within our eternal souls and within even our conscious minds, knowing that we have this one common thing. If nothing else, there's this one common thread of gratitude. And just write down the thoughts and feelings that are coming to you as you are consciously opening your soul and your heart to receive these people. And seeing the space between you and these other people, and defining yourself as a unique individual, identifying yourself as a singular individual, because there is space between each one of us, but also finding that oneness through gratitude, if nothing else, that oneness that exists between us, and how we have expanded and enhanced and become more enlightened because of coming together, because of this oneness that we've created. And if there is one individual on this call, or maybe they're not on the call today, but someone that you have felt a solid connection with, I invite you to be open to know, what is the one most important thing that you could do today to really connect with this person and increase that connection, that feeling of oneness. Close the space. Make the space a little bit smaller so that you are a little closer together. What is the one inspired shortcut to close the gap and to create more of a feeling of oneness with this one person? And also being open to one other person beyond this call, someone who maybe you haven't felt common ground with, maybe you haven't really resonated with, maybe someone who in the past has felt like an enemy, that's someone that you have blocked from being close to you. And allow yourself in this moment to be inherently safe, to open your heart, to open your soul, to allow that person space to come in. And what is the limiting belief that's coming up for you about letting that person in? And as you're recognizing the limiting belief that's what coming up, what is the cost of having that limiting belief? What's the cost to not only relationship with this person that you have held at arm's length in the past, but the universe does not differentiate. If you have a limiting belief, you have a limiting belief. And this limiting belief affects every area of your life. So really notice those words that you've written down, this limiting belief, and how it is affecting your whole life, how the universe must bring evidence to you of the truth of these limiting beliefs, how the universe must bring experiences that align with this limiting belief. The law of attraction demands that your experiences align with what you believe. And so, what is the cost of having this limiting belief? And if you don't like that cost, you can give yourself permission right now to choose a new belief that will create a different outcome. So if you are ready to give yourself permission to choose a different outcome by choosing some new beliefs, say yes.
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 Awesome. So go ahead and write 2 or 3 new beliefs that will take the place of that old limiting belief, will align you more closely with the feelings that you had written down about friends, family, familiar. What new beliefs will align with inviting people into your space with inherent safety and with full love and charity, a feeling of oneness? And always knowing that you have the ability to discern, and that there are people in your life who really are, even though your space is safe, that they're bringing something that is would compromise that feeling of safety. And so there's always choice to be able to allow people into your life, into your space, but to what new beliefs will allow you to attract the right people, that will allow you to trust and be open and receive. And in receiving, that you are expanded because of this new relationship that you're allowing in. What new beliefs will serve you? And one more question. What is the inspired shortcut? What is the one most important thing that you could do today with this other relationship that would close the gap and create more of a feeling of oneness? And trust whatever intuition is coming to you, and know that your intuition is never going to give you anything that will put you in harm's way or that will put you at risk or in danger. It will always be something that will be inspired by love, that will allow your growth, that will give you more opportunity for enlightenment and increase your ability to receive abundantly. Just trust that inspired shortcut for this relationship as well. So you have 2 inspired shortcuts today, one for someone that you are familiar with, and a second inspired shortcut for someone who you have in the past not allowed into your space. And I invite you to follow through with those inspired shortcuts as soon as possible after this call is over. We are at the end of our time, and so I'm not going to be opening up for shares, but I would invite you to go to our Facebook group, Breakthrough with Gratitude, share your thoughts there. I know you have an inspired next step to reach out to at least one person in this group. So I know that there's going to be some wonderful connection that happens. And I love you guys. We will look forward to being back together. Oh, let me just share also that if anyone is struggling with this at all in any way, please reach out to me. Go to askwylene.com and you can schedule a 15-minute mentoring session with me, and that's a free call. Look forward to being back together tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. Mountain Daylight Time. And love you all. Thank you.
Thank you.
So
Hey, thanks so much for listening. And I encourage you to tune in every day to the Daily Gratitude Call. And the Daily Gratitude Call happens live every weekday morning. We'd love to have you join. So to find out how to join live, go to my website, wylenebenson.com. Thanks for tuning in.